My name is Gabriel Aquiles, and there's something that I would like to tell you. In this video, I'm going to be discussing about this one heavily controversial practice that occurs within the meteorological community called wishcasting. Now, for those who don't know, wishcasting, portmanteau of wishing and forecasting, is the act of forecasting a situation based on one's own personal wish, or by coming up with your own interpretation of a given data that is favorable to what one is wishing for. Okay, here are some examples of what wish casting is. An NFL fan might wish cast their team's chances of winning in the next game that they play in, while at the same time ignoring their past performance and relying solely on hope. Or a high school student may wish cast for half a meter of snow to hit their town, all because they don't feel like taking their super difficult chemistry test that day. But, anyways, besides the point, here is the reason why wish casting is so frowned upon by the meteorology community has to do with a lot of reasons. Reasons including the unrealistic expectations for how a tropical cyclone, especially, would form and dissipate, where the tropical cyclone will be heading towards, how strong it's going to be, as well as how many of these tropical cyclones are going to be occurring within a given basin throughout the year. In addition to those who decide to come up with their own analysis interpretation on how strong and intense one tropical cyclone was during its lifetime, very often being in contradiction as to what the actual experts in a meteorological institution have already determined for the said tropical cyclone. One of the biggest examples of wish casting that I know of so far is of the team behind a tropical cyclone YouTube channel known as Force 13. Force 13 are of a great notoriety within the meteorological community, as they are widely known for their tropical cyclone animation videos, live streams tracking the tropical cyclones, tropical weather bulletins, and music. But apart from all this, within the tropical cyclone videos include once again data interpretations of their own which greatly differ from what the meteorological institutions around the world have officially decided for the tropical cyclones that have occurred within their respective basins. Meaning that Force 13 consider one set of storms to be weaker than what was officially designed and another to be stronger. Examples of this practice include but are not limited to them designating Hurricane Jean Miriam of 1988 to be a Category 5 of 160 miles per hour, while its official rating by the NHC is of a 145 mile per hour Category 4, or by personally keeping Hurricane Lorenzo of 2019 to be a high-end Category 4 instead of its official rating to be a Category 5, even despite its short-lived status as a Category 5. All this which leads me back to you peoples. How are you peoples coming up with your own decisions on how strong a tropical cyclone is? And don't tell me it's because of how much damage or rainfall or flooding is being produced in the area affected by the cyclone. Because you know these aren't really useful ways for you to decide how strong or weak a tropical cyclone is. It's all about the recorded wind speed of the tropical cyclone. Now, yes, I understand that in the past there have been erroneous measures on how strong a tropical cyclone was, mostly due to the fact that the wind speeds of the tropical cyclones used to get often mixed up with how fast the reconnaissance aircraft was moving towards the tropical cyclone. But you have to also realize that the Saffir-Simpson wind scale, which is a wind scale very commonly used by tropical cyclones worldwide, measures the maximum sustained wind speeds of a tropical cyclone over the course of 1 minute. Not rainfall, not storm surge, or the damage left by it, like in tornadoes, with the EF scale. Secondly, always be sure that you are careful as to what social media posts you are deciding to get your information on about those tropical cyclones. As especially with news outlets, they would often make sensationalist stories just to bring attention, something which can exaggerate and mislead the public about how intense the tropical cyclone is. Most importantly, is the varying impact that a tropical cyclone might leave away in various regions, regardless of its strength. Which again leads me back to asking you this question: how are you peoples coming up with your own decisions on how strong a tropical cyclone is? Do you have any substantial enough evidence of your own to back up these opposing claims yourself? If you think that coming up with your own analysis on how strong a storm is out in the ocean is a vital contribution towards the meteorology community, and since I know most of you who come up with these numbers basically have little to no experience on how the tropics work and think they know everything about meteorology, then I suggest you peoples to go ahead. Try out boarding and flying a weather reconnaissance airplane during the next big hurricane event and fly into the strongest part of the storm. Collect your little data, and then tell the experts how it went for you. I would also like for you to tell them about how strong you think the tropical cyclone was based on your personal experience. Or better yet, master the mathematics needed to conduct such operations and study for a meteorology major so you will learn better about the natural ingredients for what makes tropical cyclones and the natural events for what helps and or hinders tropical development and their movement, and then tell the expert whether or not you decide to go against their analysis out of personal desires again. You should also take into consideration about how many lives have been lost or at least severely injured and how many more will be lost. How much property damage the area affected by the tropical cyclone amount to. The amount of people who have been displaced and left homeless and broke as a result of them losing their living spaces, and who is at risk of being hit and will have their property destroyed soon by these tropical cyclones. You know what you should be doing instead of wishing destruction among the local populace from the tropical cyclones and turn them all into a joking matter? You should be helping them with their needs, or at least give them some emotional support during even the darkest days of the tropical cyclone seasons. Wrapping this video up, I would just like to say that everything that I've just mentioned within this discussion about what wishcasting is, it can also be applied to literally any other real world situation rather than just meteorology only, like in politics or economics, for example. Thank you for watching this video. I hope all you peoples are well informed about what wishcasting is and why is it so frowned upon. If there is anything else that you would like to add to this video discussion, please let me know in none of my YouTube comments. So anyways, that's all I have to say here, so therefore finally, goodbye for now.